What's frightening me currently is that this car is running really good. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Mountain State UTV and Racing Stuff. Stand by while I wipe off my lens. All right, we're down at JP's. We're down here with Pearl, the Junkyard Cutlass. If you don't know, pulled this thing out of a junkyard. We're doing the Barn Find 5000, which will be a race with cars saved from the grave at Twin Branch Motorsports Park / Almost Heaven Motorsports Park in the spring, early summer, whatever. But if you guys are following the other locked-in contestants, old Matt Lupardis kind of has a race car, you know? Don't worry about that. But old Matt Lupardis kind of has a race car. Kind of bending the rules a little bit. And you know, the rules are vague, so there's room to play a little bit. These cars aren't supposed to be fast or race cars per se, but he did put a comment on one of my posts that Pearl is going to need a nitrous plate. And you know what? It's on now. It's just on. But I'm gonna try to get this thing running, maybe swap the fuel pump out, see what we can do with it. Pappy's down here, we'll play with the drone. You know, I'm bored. We're gonna do something to it. Are you helping?
You regret it.
Yep, I do want to help.
Dream about it.
I hope it, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get rid of this AC stuff. We don't need that where we're going.
Nope.
So we'll get this out of here. Levi's here helping me. Pappy and JP's here. And I can't get this nut out, or bolt out, excuse me. Yeah, get out of there. It was coming, it ain't coming now. Come on, you can do it. Get out of there, come on. Oh, almost. Hey, it came out with no resistance that time.
Loosen up your big bolt on the lines on the back of that compressor and it'll let the gas out. If it
This guy?
Yep.
Okay.
If it has any gas in it, you can kind of move around the lines.
Okay.
It'll let the gas out.
Yeah.
How a cat?
Horsepower unlocked. Yeah, get out of there. Oh, we got a wire loom in the way. Other than that, should come out now. Oh! Nope, almost there. All right, got the old fuel pump out. JP's gonna show me how to get the new one in and how everything works. We'll go from there. Yep. Yeah. All right, well, we had a lot more footage, but basically somebody installed an aftermarket security system on this car and we couldn't get it to start. It didn't have fire. So I'm just gonna cut the video right here and start when we get back to it.
A few minutes later.
All right, fellers and ladies, it is several days later. It is no longer raining and it is no longer dark outside. So we tried to start this thing a few days ago and it's not getting any spark, or at least it didn't sound like it was getting any spark. I got an old spark plug, I'm gonna pull a plug wire. If it doesn't have spark, we're gonna try and figure out what in the world's wrong with it. Then we'll tackle probably the worst part of this job, which is brakes. Don't really wanna deal with that. Pretty positive that we have a busted brake line or a leaky wheel cylinder, but pretty sure there's no brakes. All right, Pap's gonna crank this thing. I'm gonna see if I can see if it has any spark here. Nope. Well, it's probably seeming like a pattern at this point, but I'm at the Advanced Auto Parts again, and we checked fuses, went through some diagnostic processing, and found out the car was not getting fire. Fuse box was fine, all the fuses were good. That car is a wiring nightmare. Whoever owned that thing, it has like household wire nuts twisted into wires coming off the distributor, and it's a nightmare. So JP worked on it a minute. We ended up jumping a wire to it and getting fire, sprayed some brake clean in it, got the car to start, but it is still not getting fuel up to the carburetor despite having a brand new fuel pump in it. So we went and got this bad boy. But one way or another, we will make this thing have fuel and we'll go from there. All right, I'm genuinely confused. We put our inline fuel pump in and no gas. JP put some gas in this last time we used it, but maybe it's just not enough and it's not enough to pick it up. Can't really figure it out, honestly, so I'm gonna put my generator gas in here and hopefully we're not just wasting it. We'll see if we can't get it to run at least. All right, scratch what we said about trying the tank. We're running it off a boat tank, and accelerator pumps are stuck, they're not working, but we're at least gonna try to make this thing idle, sit here and run. You ready?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
We're gonna use some stuff to get in with the car. We got some tire chocks here. This looks like a good tire chalk. We'll put this here. It's what it was made for. Because I don't even know if the transmission works with this thing, frankly. And what else we got? Spare tire, perfect. Oh no, I think it's stuck in there. How hard is it to get out? All right, let's put this there. That ain't going nowhere. It's got a gear. It does have a little brake.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, guys, it is several days later. There is white stuff all over the place, and we are going to pull the Cutlass into the shop today. We got it running the other day off of a boat tank, but we need to get it in the shop, get it up in the air, and check out some brake lines and some potential fuel lines, because for some reason we're not pulling fuel from the tank to the fuel pump. So gonna get this thing inside, see what we can do with it, and I would really like to drive it around today, so we'll see if we can make that happen. Good grief, it's so cold out here. My cameras are probably frozen and won't even work. I got my gas tank here. I'm gonna throw this in the front passenger seat. It is freezing. I have to hot wire my car real quick. Oh, the door's frozen shut. That's good. All right, so like I just said, my camera was frozen, so the battery quit working. If you guys have ever messed with a GoPro and it's cold outside, you know that they like to stop working. So I got my meth head cart over there. I had a backpack on. People probably think I'm homeless. I don't know how much the last clip filmed before the battery died, so my door was frozen shut. Got this opened up, and I got my boat tank here. We're gonna set this right here. Take the lid off if it's not also frozen, and it is, and I can't get it to turn. Ow. There we go. Man, it is cold, and I am just in a hoodie because my mindset was we're gonna be inside today. I didn't consider the part where I need to come out here and get the car running and all that, so my hands are literally frozen. See if I can get this thing to roll down. We don't need that much, that'll work. Okay, now I gotta open the hood. Sweet Jesus, it's cold out here. Also frozen. Come on. Very good. Not warm. My hood hinge is a little bit froze. Come on. All right, hopefully my battery lasts a minute in this frigid weather. Got to hook up my little hot wire here. Where's my red one? And in theory, we should have spark now. Take you guys over here, see if I have enough hose to reach to my fuel tank. Not looking good, not gonna lie. Wow, camera work struggling today. See if we got enough hose here. I'm gonna go in through the window, just like it was designed, into our fuel tank. just like Oldsmobile designed it. Okay, now you can hear our fuel pump is working. The accelerator pumps are not working in this car, in this carburetor, so we're gonna do the next best thing and hit her with some brake clean. All right, as I mentioned earlier, we got some issues with GoPros when they're cold. So I hooked this baby on here and hit the play button while I got this thing started, and it didn't work. So I got the car running. I've got it running. For some reason that hood light keeps flashing on and off. Not sure what the deal with that is. But this thing doesn't have what we would call brakes. So I'm gonna limp it into the shop where it's warm. I can't wait to get inside and see if we can't work on the brakes a little bit. See you guys in a second. All right, we're ready to pull this thing into the building. We're gonna play a little game called Will It Stop? I'm gonna put it in drive. Not optimistic, not much brake pedal in here, so. Oh, I've got enough to stop, heck yeah. That's awesome. I can at least, it'll stop, heck yes, that's awesome. Now, oh my gosh, there's almost no brakes. I gotta be easy on it. There's a little bit of pedal at the very bottom, and I mean a little bit. The power steering works really good. I'm honestly surprised how good the power steering works. All right, we're good. Also happening today, Jim has his new Nova in here. This thing is really cool, really nice car. They're doing a lot of work to it. Welding a new cage into it. It did not have a good cage in it, so they're redoing that. He's got him some brand new big tires under here, so he'll also be working on this. All right, now that we got the car up in the air, sorry, they're grinding in the background. You can see the mold. Should we leave it or just clean it off? I think this car will shine up, but you know, I don't mind the mold. But in terms of floors, we don't have any floors. So that's the carpet inside the car. No big deal. We don't need floors where we're going. Does she leak transmission fluid? Yes, but that's okay. Another discovery that we just made, that we thought this would be an Oldsmobile 200 transmission. It has a 350 in it. Super exciting. So we're not hopefully gonna rip the transmission out on the first pull. So that's a good thing. Somebody cared about this car at one point. They notched the cross member so they could put dual exhaust in this thing. It has dual cherry bombs. But we did find our leaky brake line. We busted a brake line right here. So we're gonna run to the Advance Auto Parts, get us a couple parts. And in the meantime, all the snow will melt and leak into the floor. And hopefully we'll get this thing stopping. We got it running, and we got to get stopping.
And all that. Only thing I didn't get was the ball joints.
Mike greased the front end of this thing while I was at the parts store. So not only the power steering worked really good, now it should be nice and smooth. Something was making a little grindy noise and when I pulled in, so look at that. Well, thank you. This thing has a ton of extension in the front too, so if we no prep race it, you know, might just leave this alone. Fortunately, somebody torqued the drain plug to about 175 foot-pounds. I can't get it off, so I have to go get a ratchet. Sweet Lord. Stop torquing your freaking oil drain plugs that's so tight, for crying out loud. All right, fortunately I had found the correct socket and then used all the strength that I have to take this thing off of here because somebody cranked it so tight. And she's been sitting for a minute, so we got the oil nice and there's oil getting everywhere, good. We got the oil nice and hot, and hopefully it'll drop all the junk out of this engine that was in the top. Let it run for a minute. Hopefully that'll all come out and we'll put some fresh oil in it. I gotta go wipe the oil off my phone screen now.
Here, you reckon?
It looks pretty old.
Yeah.
Fortunately, whoever owned this car really didn't want the oil plug or the filter to ever come out of it. So that thing looks like it's older than me.
Lifetime.
And Mike put about 600 pounds of torque on it to get it out of there. So here we are, it's finally out. All right, on my third trip to Advance, and we're on our third attempt at an oil filter here because Advance's computer tells them that a 1980 Cutlass has 305 in it. It does not. It has an Oldsmobile 307. So this is the filter, much smaller end on it, different thread pattern. We got the original one. Johnny looked at it and said that's not going to work, it's for Chevy. And then he ordered one from Napa. Napa also sent a Chevy filter, so he sent them back and they brought another one and it was also wrong. So it was narrower, but the thread pattern was wrong. So going back with the original filter to Advance, try to get the right one. All right, 3 or 4 oil filters later and how many debates with the auto parts stores, we finally got a PF61 on there. So that is a PF61E for the one person who may ever watch this. It has a 1980 Cutlass with a 307. That's what it is, PF61E. So we're gonna drop this thing, probably start it up, pump the brakes, and see what we got here. I'm gonna eat some pizza real quick. All right, so JP wired up an ignition wire so we don't have to hot wire the car anymore. We bled the brakes. I got some brake pedal now, so that's good. We still cannot get the car to pull fuel from the tank, and if you blow on the line or suck on the line, there's no resistance. It's not like you're blowing through liquid. So either the line's busted, or what'd you say, the unit that goes into the tank might be drawing air or something. So we're gonna test something to rule that out. I'm gonna take my $60 electric fuel pump, turn it around backwards, put this side in the jug, and push fuel that way. So in theory, with science, you would think that if there's a hole in the line, it's going to leak out somewhere so we can actually visually see it and make a repair if need be. If there's not fuel coming out and it goes to the tank, then we will know that it's probably that sending unit or something wrong back there. So let's try it. Should we put this thing up in the air so we can see
just
it?
Look underneath.
Okay.
Just tell
Mustang
me
Dan, you want to be the look underneath guy?
I'll
tell me.
All right, go ahead and fire it up. All right, now that I got the fuel flow in the correct direction.
You can hear something bubbling and gurgling under here.
It's just now picking the fuel up, so give it a sec.
Oh, hey, yep,
All right.
stop it. Yep,
He
fuel.
said stop, Johnny.
Stop it, turn it off.
Try and see where it's leaking at. It's leaking bad.
Oh, no wonder.
Yep. See, we used science to diagnose this issue. Science.
Good job, Joe.
Now if I could figure out how to put a fuel pump on in the right directions, I put it on wrong about 5 times now. Okay, so we have diagnosed right about here. Our fuel line's busted, so we're gonna cut her off and probably nix every bit of this and just replace the whole thing with rubber lines. So it'll be all fresh and new.
20 minutes later.
Okay, 56 parts runs later, we got some fuel line here. We're just replacing the metal with rubber, and we're running it over the rear end. Gonna zip tie it to the muffler here, and then run it all the way in the frame rail to the front. We got the new fuel line plugged into the original fuel pump, the mechanical fuel pump, which probably was never bad. The line was just busted. So hopefully that works, and then we'll have an extra electric fuel pump laying around. And then when we are done and we know this thing runs, we'll get a little pss, pss, nitrous on there, and we'll just use that fuel pump to add fuel. Is that how you're supposed to do it? No. Will it blow up? Probably. It is what it is. It's fine, you know? So we're gonna see if this thing is working, and I'm gonna start it up real quick. For some reason, when you hit the gas in this car, the hood light comes on. Watch. I don't know why, but it does. Whatever. All right, we're gonna test drive this thing. We got a little bit of brakes. Let's check them. Not the best brakes. Not gonna lie. Not very good at all.
Let's be honest, we've both ridden in sketch here.
I think JP didn't want to walk back, so he declined to go on the first drive here. All right, let's see what this thing can do. I'm not gonna lie, that's way better than I thought it was gonna be.
Was
that to the floor?
This is brakes. This is on the floor brakes.
Yeah. Was that all the way to the floor?
No, it wasn't to the floor. If I floor it, the car will probably stumble, so I'm just easing into it. The steering is really good.
It does steer good, other than the fact that the tires rub.
Mike, well, we won't be taking any sharp turns anyway. Mike greased up the whole steering rack before he left the shop, so this thing's not a beast, but it's not bad. I love it, frankly. I need to take Sam for a ride in it immediately.
That's
Let's
gotta happen soon.
see if the Mountaineer car wash is open. Or whatever, handyman car. There's a car wash over here. Ran by questionable individuals, but that's fine. Let's see how much money I have. Ooh, I got a 20. I think we're good. What's frightening me currently is that this car is running really good. Like, when we hit the key the second time, it was just like fired right up like a fuel injected car. It's running super good. I don't knock on wood. The first ride's going pretty darn good. All right, the questionable car wash wasn't open today. We're going through the 5-star, so we're gonna give
Reputable.
this a shot.
5 stars.
They take cards here.
They do.
All right, let's see what the options are. 3-star wash, pre-soak, basic wash, Sprite-free rinse, high-velocity dryer. You know what? That looks fine. We don't need no top coat protectant. We need the bare minimum.
Honestly, we'd like to blast the top coat off of this thing.
Welcome to our car wash.
Oh, hello.
Please select a wash by touching the corresponding button on the screen, or touch the enter code button to enter your code.
What do I do? I already said that. What do I do?
You put your card in?
Help.
Please wait while you're... Thank you.
Am I
Thank
good?
you. Please pull forward
Okay.
slowly into the wash.
This is going to be epic. First car wash since probably 2018, I would guess. This thing's been sitting in a scrapyard. It's covered in mold. I should have taken more before pictures, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm really excited right now. And look at the clear coat blowing off.
Dude, there's pieces of it on the windshield.
This is awesome.
This is incredible.
We'll see how many parts of the car survive the trip. Like if anything's gonna fall off. But it's still running. We're sitting here idling. Look at that. Look at that coming off like glass. Oh, I just felt some water. Oh no, we're getting water inside.
We're at.
Right here. Which I knew it wasn't sealed good because the door is all rotted out over here. Look at that. This is a treatment right here. This was Sam's idea, by the way. She texted me and was like,
What's that, hitting the car wash? I mean, it's not a horrible idea.
Pulled over at the old Little General here. Ran this thing through the 5-star. Look at this thing. 1980. I mean, we need to do a little bit right here. Probably need some polishing, but I think that'll clean up. But look at the sides of this thing. Here, shut that door. Looks like there was a whammo here we couldn't see before.
There was a little bit of a scuff there.
But man, the thing cleaned up good. I think if we take a buffer and buff all this off, man, I think it'll look sharp. And then we need to get it to the house and clean like this stuff up that the car wash won't get. But she leaks a little bit, no big deal. You know, it's fine. It probably needs some inside storage. We don't really care. Looks like my lights are doing that thing again. Don't really know why it does that, but we're gonna go back to the shop, see if Johnny wants to go for a ride. If not, we'll park it. There's one thing that we need to know about this car before I put it up. And I'm already pretty darn sure that the answer is no. And that's, will it do a burnout? And based on the very poor brake situation and the blatant lack of horsepower, I'm not optimistic, but we can try it. I'd like to find some water, get the back tires in, because I don't think it's going to do a dry burnout. There's no way, but let's see if we can find some water. That road's kind of wet. All right, Mustang Dan's pouring me some moisture on the ground here, try to break these tires loose. He just told me, you're sitting on like some gravel, and I said, even better. We're gonna try to get a tire broke loose here. I'm not even really sure which one will spin, but it'll probably be one tire. Let's go.
Here goes nothing. All right, you're in it.
Well guys, I think that is gonna do it for this video. The Junkyard Cutlass is on the road and ready for competition. The Barn Find 5000 is coming up. I hope to see you guys there. Like I've said before, the Barn Find 5000 is when you find a car that is destined for the grave, scrapyard, field, barn, whatever it is, pull it out, get it running, and race it. We're not building race cars, we're not putting race engines and back halfing and all that stuff. Maybe if you want to do a little pss, pss, little nitrous action, maybe we'll be okay with that. Are we gonna do that? Maybe, possibly, probably, but this car runs really good and I'm really excited about it. So I can't wait to edit this video and get it up. Really excited about it, but thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Turn those notifications on, and we will see you soon at the Almost Heaven Motorsports Park. Get your barn find out. You want to get in on this race? Contact me. You can do it too. Anybody can do it. Holler at me. Thank you. See you next time.